Welcome to CBN4's Primetime News. I am your presenter, Sheena Harry. A workshop aimed at the development of child-friendly schools kicked off today at the Public Service Union building. The Ministry of Education and Sports started the program to sensitize stakeholders about the criteria of child-friendly schools. Acting Chief Education Officer Melina Fontaine said that a child-friendly school is primarily defined by its effectiveness.
Talk about child-friendly school, we are actually talking about effective schools. The research has shown us that there are 9 indicators that we are looking for to enable us to say that a particular school is an effective school.
Those indicators are a clear and shared focus, high standards and expectations of all students despite capabilities, strong leadership, high levels of collaboration and communication, state-mandated standards for curriculums and assessments, frequent monitoring of teaching and learning, focus on professional development, a conducive learning environment, and high levels of family and community involvement.
Particularly towards the last 3 indicators, it is important that all stakeholders within the education system receive focused professional development so that you can be supportive within the students' learning environment in order to realize our vision that every child succeeds.
Fontaine went on to say that the ministry is adamant about doing what is in the best interest of the students and expects that all decision-making will be inclusive of parents and students as well as teachers and officials. On the first day of the child-friendly workshop, the focus was on sports educators. Consultant Stevenson Hyacinth said that the reason for this is because the goal is to create well-rounded individuals.
Focus is on all students. And also, it does not focus primarily on academics. It looks at the whole child. Because that child is someone who will be going back into the community to live and to interact with people.
Hyacinth reiterated that academics and sports are both key factors in shaping the behavioral patterns, skills, and attitudes of students. The workshop will continue on Wednesday when over 100 bus drivers who transport students will be engaged. Also making our headlines, 8 women and 32 men are now officially part of the training program at the Dominica Police Academy. The recruits were welcomed to the training facility on March 14th, where they will undergo 6 months of intense training as they pursue a career with the Dominica Police Force. After taking their oath, the recruits were addressed by Chief of Police Daniel Carbon, Assistant Superintendent of Police Richmond Valentine, and Chief Instructor Inspector Paul Laville. And this group represents the 32nd installment of recruits to participate in the training course at Monbruce. The government of Dominica Police Force continues its task to eradicate the drug problem on the island. According to Public Relations Officer Pelham John Baptist, on March 10th, members of the drug squad executed a search warrant in Campbell. The search resulted in the confiscation of over a kilo of cannabis with a street value of $3,000. 22-year-old Mishak Esprit of Campbell and 23-year-old Christy Joseph of Marigot were subsequently arrested and charged with possession and possession with intent to supply cannabis. The Dominica Coast Guard is in search of 2 men who went missing at sea en route to Dominica. A week ago, Ian Joseph and Walters Joseph, both of the Calinago territory, were headed from Guadeloupe to Dominica in their motorized fishing boat and have not been heard from since. According to Public Relations Officer of the Dominica Police Force, Pelham John Baptist, relatives reported that the two suffered engine trouble on the way. The Coast Guard has since made contact with neighboring law enforcement agencies and rescue teams for assistance. Also in the news, members of the Girondel Egliston Village Council got a chance to air their grievances as they met with the Prime Minister of Dominica, the Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit. Shanna Esprit has the details.
Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit has challenged the Girondel Egliston Village Council to take up the concerns of children and the underprivileged in their communities. Skerrit met with the village council of the two communities recently. The Girondel Egliston Village Council wrote to me asking for an audience to discuss concerns in both communities, and I responded and opted to visit them at their office location to discuss their concerns. Skerrit stated that the council raised various concerns such as roads and infrastructure. During discussions, the Prime Minister brought forward some of his concerns and areas in which the government of Dominica and the communities of Girondel Egliston can work together to improve the lives of people in those communities. One, it has to do with the taking advantage of the National Employment Program to keep the village clean and beautiful, which both communities are known for. I also spoke to them about the Flower Growers Association and how we can work with them, to the young children, and ensure that every child in Girondel and Egliston attends school, Skerrit continued. Another critical issue which was discussed was identifying people within the communities without washroom facilities so that the government can work through the village council to help those individuals. Additionally, on the agenda, the Prime Minister urged the Council to pay particular attention to the elderly, less fortunate, and the sick by reaching out to them. The government of Dominica presented $80,000 to the Girondel Egliston Village Council and reaffirmed his commitment to the enhancement of those communities. According to the Prime Minister, $60,000 will go towards immediate road improvements and $22,000 will go towards the Flower Growers Association. $1.6 million have also been approved for the road rehabilitation works from Castle Comfort into Girondel and Egliston.
A national abattoir in the Layou Valley area will officially open next month. Agriculture Minister Johnson Drago says, although there were a lot of challenges along the way, the facility is on course to produce about 40% of the chicken products consumed in Dominica. The abattoir went into its testing phase in the months of November and December, and we were very satisfied with the testing phase of the abattoir. However, recommendations were made to the company constructing the abattoir, OSG, to prepare us for the official opening, Drago stated. Presently, the construction company OSG is on site doing all relevant work and adjustments needed to meet the target for the official opening. We have to bear in mind that the abattoir was constructed and the facility was there for 2 years, so some of the equipment had to be replaced to bring in new equipment, Drago explained. The government of Dominica is preparing to provide funds for the poultry and pork farmers in preparation for the production phase. Drago informed that these funds for farmers will be accessible through the aid bank. According to the Agriculture Minister, the staff are trained and equipped to begin work. The market is tested, and we believe that Dominicans will receive a wholesome and fresh product when the abattoir officially opens. Global awareness about consumer rights is at the forefront every March 15th to celebrate consumerism. Here's Shanna Esprit.
Dominica joins the rest of the world in celebration of World Consumer Rights Day. World Consumer Rights Day is an annual occasion for celebration and solidarity within the international consumer movement. It marks the date in 1962 when President John F. Kennedy first outlined the definition of consumer rights. The theme for this year's World Consumer Rights Day is Antibiotics off the Menu. Director of Trade, Marthan Walter, has more.
Is antibiotics off the menu, and in that regard we are looking at it in the context of animals that are being fed feed which are high in antibiotics for some reasons, for allowing for there to be greater muscle growth, for allowing for there to be a larger production of milk, for allowing the animals to grow much faster, and this can have a negative impact on human life, because what you will have is that for very small injuries, because of the fact that the bacteria may become immune to antibiotics being given for that in humans, human beings may die out of these things.
Walter said countries such as Dominica have begun to take positive steps to prevent such actions. The Director of Trade explained that it would not be realistic to believe that the cultivation of livestock antibiotics would never be used. However, when they are used for reasons other than treating and curbing diseases, they can cause problems to human health.
Thank you, Shanna. Heavy rainfall in the interior of the island is causing severe flooding to Dominica's main port of entry. The Douglas Charles Airport is held captive by the raging Melville Hall River. The river has overflowed its banks, jeopardizing an airport that is only just recovering from the impact of Tropical Storm Erica in 2015. However, according to airport manager Jean Williams, airport personnel have been working diligently to get rid of the mud and water, and no flights have yet been impacted. CBN4 will continue to monitor the situation. And reports indicate that the much-feared Zika virus has arrived in Dominica. Throughout the past several months, officials have been cautioning Dominicans to take the necessary precautions to avoid contraction of the disease. A cleanup campaign was successfully held last month, in which residents disposed of white goods and were educated on the preventative measures. However, it is alleged that, as anticipated, a case was recently reported. And once again, CBN4 will keep you posted on any developments. And that takes us to the end of the Primetime News package. If you've missed any of our stories, you can catch up on cbn4.com or on our Facebook page. And if there's ever a story you'd like us to cover, feel free to email us at cbn4news@gmail.com. Until our next broadcast, I am Sheena Harry. Thanks for watching.